The idea that I could possibly be one of the few remaining people on the earth with a particular shoe is just amazing feeling, right? The idea that a shoe is limited, that something is a collectible, as a rare item, just drives the demand up that much higher. The value is going to be that much higher. I get it. But just, is it really worth it on certain shoes? Really? Also, Angel Reese just debuted her signature shoe for Reebok, the Angel Reese 1. However, I thought she already debuted her signature shoe earlier in February, the Engine A. Apparently, that's not her signature shoe. Let's get into it. What up, what up, what up, Prime Mega New Trees Up is on the full trees up. Yeah, so apparently, the next few Jordans that are coming out, or one of the few, are going to be limited. Shattered backboards, I'm hearing. The upcoming Jordan Steel 10s, I believe, that are dropping in August. And someone, or maybe I read this wrong or saw this somewhere, mentioned something about the Aqua 8s are going to be limited as well. So, now, I wonder if Nike is doing this out of fear that that their shoes will be sitting around on shelves, to alleviate that, to eliminate that, so they'll sell out a little bit faster. We all know that they already limit the quantities when you go to the sneakers app or any online. They seem to be a little more limited online out the gate. Now, shattered backboards, they said were like around 55,000, I believe, if I'm not tripping. They're Jordan 1s. We know Jordan 1s have been sitting. So, of course, that's not a great look for them, or at least from their perspective. But from our perspective, it's great because we get to go to the store and get what we want. As far as the Jordan 10s, the steels, the white ones, I'm not surprised. I do want that shoe, but I'm not going to kill myself to get it. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be straight up. And then also November, the gray ones, the Stealth, I think it's called. The Stealth ones are coming out in November. So I might try one of the two. I'm not like getting my hopes up high because I feel like they're going to limit those. Yeah, the 10, I'm not surprised it's going to be limited because it's one of those special milestone moment marking shoes, and that as when Jordan came back, wore the 4.5, he came back in. So they want to signify and highlight these moments, And honestly, most of the shoe, not so much the 2, the 3 to 4, a few of these shoes, actually probably 1 through 14, 15, have stories. So, but they pick and choose what they want to magnify the moment for, and to make the shoe a lot more attractive. And I get it, I'm not mad, But again, I had to actually be real with myself. Yes, there are certain shoes where it's like you want to be the only one wearing them at certain places. It's impossible for you to be the only one wearing a particular shoe unless you actually specifically designed it yourself. I get it. Or unless you're wearing like a lot of high fashion, which I don't really wear high fashion shoes. But as far as Jordans, yes, I expect that somebody in the room, in the world, is going to have the pair that I have on. I'm cool with that. But there are times where I'm like, you throw on maybe your extra top tier Jordan, the one you have like for special occasions. You do want to be like, all right, I gotta throw these on, I gotta kill them tonight. You know what I'm saying? And you, in hopes that only a few people will have them on. But I'm not really serious about it. There are people that are serious, like, nobody better not have my fit on tonight. I'm serious. I'm not playing. I'm not that serious. But I can see that point of view. I felt that way. If I'd be lying if I said I didn't. So I say all that to say, I think it is cool that they do. When certain shoes are limited, it does build up the hype for the overall brand, for the shoe, the overall demand for the shoe, period. I see certain things just have to be done. That, in my opinion, when they did back in February, when they dropped the Bread Band 1, in hindsight, when I first heard they were going to limit that, I ain't gonna lie, I was upset because I want that shoe. I still want it. But it makes sense when you look back. It's like, that's a really coveted, highly coveted shoe with a really high profile story. Even though it was based on the airship, not the black and red one, but we get it. You know what I'm saying? We get it. But I ain't gonna lie, I was annoyed. I was annoyed for that. They limit, I want to say they limit Travis Scott's as well because they're hard to get. You know, they're only, I don't think that they are available in stores. I'm not the expert on that. You know, if you know, comment below. Anybody that got their Travis Scott from an actual store or maybe was able to pick it up from a store, you know, let me know. I've yet to get a pair. I do want a pair, I'm being honest. But the super hype shoes like that, the collaborations, they tend to be a little more limited because the collaboration itself, I'm assuming, is a little more expensive to make than just a regular signature shoe. With all the special materials, you know, Amamanair, you know, what's the other one? Union. There's a few others, but you know, I assume they're limited for that reason. And like I said, it works. It's attractive. It's the allure, you know, and it does help. But for the most part, certain shoes like that are not collabs, that are just regular Jordans. I mean, and they're OG. I get it. Maybe I'm just saying it because I want some of these shoes. You know what I mean? Maybe this is just a moment of clarity, a moment of honesty for me to say that and to be honest with y'all. You know, I get it, but I am not trying to pay all that money on resale for certain shoes. I'm just not doing it. You know, I'm not doing that. I told this story before, but my first encounter with buying my favorite shoe, I actually had to get through resale technically. You know, back in 19, the infrared 6's release, and we was in line for Champ Sports. They was already sold out. A guy that I was like, you know, we was talking. We both was trying to like, get the 6's. We was talking about shoes and stuff. He happened to go upstairs, and he seen these kids had trash bags full of 6's. Infrared 6's. He's like, nah, you're gonna hold me a pair. And then he yelled from upstairs like, yo, they got these. So ran upstairs. They gave me the price. End up paying. It was supposed to be $200. End up paying $50 more for resale. And at that point in my mind, I honestly didn't quite understand it, but I was prepared. I was prepared to pay that 50 extra bucks. You know, it was already a 50 more. Like, yeah, it's not cheap, but it wasn't too crazy. Because I wore a size 11, they had to get me. So that was my first encounter of anything. You know, before I even went to StockX, that was my first encounter. So I get it. You know, like I said, shoes are in demand, and they're limited, and it makes the company look that much more like they're doing that much more better business. And to me, also in the day and time that we have this tariff situation going on, limiting actually even makes it even worse as far as they're adding that extra $5 increase on the end of everything. So in the course of it being increased in resale, I mean, that really, you're just gonna pay more. You ain't gonna think about the $5. You're gonna think about $500 extra, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, comment below. Let me know what y'all think. I mean, am I the only one? I mean, I get it. Like I do like certain shoes that are limited. You know, I like some of the hype beast shoes, but again, I just have a price that I'm not willing to pay for certain things. You know, but I do get it. I understand. But overall, to be honest, I feel like we should just be able to all go get the shoe we want. You know, when the shoes first came out, they were that readily available. But they were expensive even back then. You know, so that's why everybody's that's of age now. Is all in the hunt to get the shoe that they didn't get, excuse me, as a kid. So, and I think that's fun. But there was a time where it wasn't sold out. They were already available. But now that they're retro and reissued, That's what's drawing the mystique around them, and they're able to limit them now because they're already legendary status. They're grail status, but we gonna give it to you in little bits and pieces. You're not gonna get all of what we got. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna limit it. But comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Okay, so this whole Angel Reese thing, right, actually got me thinking of an even bigger situation that's going on that was not going on before, to my knowledge, right? Okay, so back in February, I thought the Engine A was Angel Reese's signature shoe. Apparently not. It was her. They made a PE color for her specifically. Now, her signature shoe, I believe, is due out sometime in the fall. I'm going to have to research it. I'll put the date up here, the correct date. The Angel Reese 1, it's a white, iridescent, glowy type shoe, and it's fire. I like it. You know, I like honestly, I like the Engine 8 better, but I want to see other colorways for the Angel Reese 1. This brings up another question, it draws attention to another topic, that the PE in today's time is actually two things: a rollout for the players, right? A rollout, meaning this is how they're going to be introduced to the world. This is what's going to draw more hype to their brand. They don't even have to take the personal sneaker route. They can just go straight on right into a PE specific color, and whenever at one point, whenever they choose to, they can actually have those released depending on how big the hype impact the player is making. It makes a lot of sense, and I might actually save. I don't know how this goes, but I'm thinking it might save the brand money. They don't have to spend as much money when they already have a shoe that's already developed, just a different color. That's it. I don't have to specifically design this shoe catered to you. Not as of yet. This is actually, the PE could be testing grounds, if you may, you know. But again, it's definitely part of a rollout. It's definitely the rollout plan. You don't even have to have your own shoe. Hell, if I had the PE primes, I don't have to have the signature shoe. Just the PE is the signature. Like, you're gonna have my color, my swag is all gonna be into that. You know, I might even get them to do different materials, switch certain logos around, just like Travis Scott does. And that's just as good. Actually, Travis Scott, to me, technically, Travis Scott, even though it is a collab, it's a PE. It's something that he wanted to wear. He designed it for himself. Honestly, he made himself happy first. That's what every creator does. You know, you do it for yourself first, and then you turn it in for it to be adored by the masses. So the PE, in my mind, is just in this day and time. I don't know about prior, but in this day and time, the PE is just as great, if not greater, depending on the situation, than the actual signature shoe line. So comment below. Let me know what y'all thoughts. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Prime Meg. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Let's get it. Trees up.